Hi everyone, my name is Holly Marie King, and we are here with the Confusing Kidnap Chapter 12. So, why don't we just jump in and get started? Alright, Chapter 12. Into the dark. The walls closed in on them. Carrie was the bravest of the three, then Brandon, but Andrew, being terrified of the dark, moved painfully slow. "Come on, Andrew, hurry up!" Carrie hollered. "Are you scared of the dark, mister?" Brandon asked. "No." Andrew, clearing his throat, not wanting to admit his fear of the dark to a 5 and 13-year-old. Brandon grabbed Andrew's hand. "Don't worry, we can help each other through the dark, okay?" "Okay." Andrew held onto the boy's hand as they walked. "Do you see anything, Carrie?" "Shh, I found them," Carrie whispered urgently. "What's wrong, Andrew?" Helen asked. "I think it's about time I told you something very important," Troy said. Andrew's hand tightened on Brandon's, who had been ready for that. Helen stiffened. What would that be?" she asked. "This." He leaned in and kissed her on the lips. Carrie and Brandon were having a lot of difficulty holding Andrew back. Helen pushed him away, an angry look on her face. She slapped him too. Andrew silenced a cry of joy. "How dare you?" Troy looked confused. "What do you mean? I thought you liked me, he said. "I did, but now I see how you are," Helen said. "I don't understand. You're married to Maria, and even though you two have hit a rough patch, I didn't think you'd give up so easily." She turned her back to him. "Can we go now?" Andrew whispered. Carrie shook her head. Troy laughed. "Are you sure you want to turn down my offer, Helen?" What do you mean?" Helen asked. Her eyes shifted around in fear. "Helen, get out!" Allison shouted something out of Helen's head. "It's Troy," she hissed. "No!" Helen gasped. "Now?" Andrew whispered. "No," Carrie whispered. "Wait till I tell you to." "Come on, Helen. You and I both know what you're supposed to do to save these people," Troy said with a smirk on his face. "You know nothing," Helen snapped. Troy began to circle her, poking her with every word he said. Slowly, very slowly, it snuck up on you, the knowledge of your quest. He jabbed her extra hard, making her fall to the ground. "Not yet," Carrie whispered as Andrew's hand tightened on a rock. "You didn't even need the last person to finish the prophecy." Troy's voice was building with excitement. Allison did not know what he was talking about. Neither did Carrie or Andrew, but Brandon. Andrew looked around. Where was Brandon? "Carrie!" Andrew whispered urgently. "Shh! I know, he's going over there. Don't worry, he knows what he's doing," she whispered back. "What, you thought you could ask the last one not to say anything to the group?" "Oh, what? You thought you could ask the last one not to say anything to the group?" "Wow." Troy asked with a laugh. "Well, I would have, only because I myself know what she has to do," Brandon said, standing completely still. He had an air of braveness about him. He seemed to be very mature, but Andrew did not care. He kept his eyes on Helen, who shook fearfully. Ah, the last of their little group. How cute. Sorry, I didn't mean to blow on that. I felt a hair on my face. Troy laughed again. Brandon squatted down next to Helen. "Do you think it's time for our secret to be let out?" That was supposed to be a question mark. "If I do not say it, then the portal will not open. You know this," Brandon muttered. Helen sighed. "Yes, but I wish it didn't have to come to this." "Well, look at it this way. There are less in the group here right now," Brandon said. "Then let's hear your great words, oh prophesizer. Apparently I don't know how to spell at all. There's supposed to be an O there," Troy shouted. "The last of the prophecy," Allison whispered. "You want this to succeed, right?" Helen asked, pleading eyes on Allison. "Of course I do." "Good. Continue, young one. In order for the demons to be separated into their own bodies, the chosen one must sacrifice their life for the rest," Brandon said. There was a gasp around the room from Allison, Carrie, and Andrew. It was time to move. Andrew stood and followed Carrie out from behind their hiding place. "It's not true," Andrew whispered. Helen closed her eyes. It was almost time for it all to be over. Her heart pounded furiously. "But why?" Allison had a flash of memory pass in her head. Helen had been slumped over in a corner as everyone collaborated. They're making movies together. "Now I see why you looked so sad as everyone celebrated." "I didn't think it'd be that easy." Whatever. Helen shook her head. It is an easy choice for me, she whispered. So you won't do it? Andrew exclaimed. Relief rushed through him. No, I will go through with it, Helen said. Andrew's stomach tightened. But why? Say the rest of the prophecy. Helen said, if the chosen one does not go through with this task, when all the people she or he has chosen are gathered and the portal has been opened, then the cursed souls will be destroyed, Braden said. One life for so very many lives. Seems fair to me, Helen said. How can you say that? Carrie asked. You make it sound as if your life isn't important, Allison snapped. Oh, but it is, Helen whispered, standing. The portal was opening, and the others were coming into the cave. Didn't you hear how important my life is? If I go through with this, I will be giving a second chance to many. She looked at all her friends, smiling. Troy and his friends found they couldn't move. Isn't that important? Helen, no! Allison shouted, but it was too late. Helen had made up her mind. Why can't I move? Troy demanded. Helen turned to him and patted his chest as she passed. So, no one will stop the chosen one. She walked into the portal and disappeared. That's the end of the chapter. Guess if anyone's excited to find out what happens on the last chapter of the confusing Kidnap, you'll have to tune in next week. And yeah, so next week we will be finishing up the confusing Kidnap, and then we will be starting a new one. I was gonna announce this later, but I can announce this now. I will continue on reading rough drafts. The next rough draft is going to be called Emblem Knights. Of course, we have to finish chapter 13, and then I'm going to introduce Emblem Knights, and then we'll read it. So it'll be 2 weeks before we start the new one. But anyway, that's everything for this week. So hopefully I will see you guys next time. Bye!